Hey there, fellow competitor dreamers. Welcome back to the channel, where we're all about owning our dreams by competing and competing by owning our dreams. I'm your host, JP Giraldo, and I'm thrilled to have you in this amazing conversation with AJ Catanzaro, owner of the Moto Academy and professional supercross rider. So let's dive deep into today's conversation.
Oh, cool. First of all, thank you. Thank you for the class. It was great.
Yeah, of
For
course.
the content, for the app, really helping me so much. I
Awesome.
love it.
Yeah, I mean that's what we made it so that people could go in and study at any level. Complete beginner, fast amateur racer, pro. We have pros in there. You could just go in, try to learn, be a part of the community is pretty cool. Like it's awesome. There's more people that are posting in there and building the community, which is what I'm trying to do most, like make a community out of it.
Build that community. I saw a couple of videos you talking about how the sport's small.
Yeah.
It's a small demographic that you also want to grow because it has a lot of potential.
Yeah, it is small, but it's not as small as people think. There's a lot of people that ride dirt bikes. So I think it's just that it appears from the outside in to really feel like that there's not. It's hard. It's not like you can go pick up a soccer ball or a football or a basketball and go and play. I mean, it's tough to be able to figure out, okay, well, what bike do I buy? Where do I go ride it? Well, how do I keep it running? There's a lot of things to figure out. So if you're a part of a community that can help you with all of that, that's kind of the ticket. And I don't think it's tough to find that. You go to the local track and you can get lucky, definitely, and meet some cool people, and that definitely happens. But I think it just makes it that much easier to be in like the Moto Academy app, and you can find people in your local area. You can ask people questions on there, learn a whole bunch of that. I'm trying to make it more accessible because dirt bikes has this weird thing where people think it's very dangerous. They think it's people just doing wheelies down the street, and it's not. I want to make it a little bit more well-known, widespread, and easier to get into. It's kind of my goal.
Gotcha. What's your dream? Your biggest dream right now? Not with the Moto Academy.
So a couple things. But one, with the Moto Academy, I want to make the Moto Academy the biggest brand in the sport of motocross. And by doing that, I want to create. But to do that, I want to create the most actual change. I want to help people. I want to make a real difference. I think there's a lot of people that come into the sport, get very, very famous, have a really good position to do something, and have a lot of leverage to be able to really make something happen. But there's such a small window for them to be able to be successful at racing that they're selfish and they do it for themselves. I get it. And then their time out of the limelight, they go live their lives and they're away from the sport. I want to just change the sport in a big way. I want Moto Academy the biggest brand in motocross. Outside of that, there's a certain amount of money I would love to be able to make. I have a big monetary goal, but I'm not really super concerned with that. I think it's just important to have a goal. I have family goals. I'd love to we're having a baby in November.
Congrats.
Thank you.
On your baby.
I'd love to have a couple of kids, maybe 2 is good. And just be able to just have enough money so that we can do whatever we want. So that my wife and I can spend all the time we want around our kids, never have to go to work and have to put our kids in daycare or anything like that. I want to be able to maximize my time with my kids. I want to be able to get my private pilot's license. I'm halfway there. And maybe start my own charter business for aircraft, because the first plane I want to buy is pretty cool. It's very expensive, but then keep buying more and more expensive planes, and then just have pilots that can train under me for that as well. And that's it.
You want to make I don't know, if you still want to, create a Moto Academy team?
Yes.
Professional?
Yeah. So, yeah. We're gonna open multiple facilities. So we'll have Moto Academy facilities all over the world. And with that, we want to have a supercross race team and a motocross race team, but at different levels. So I want to have sort of a privateer race team, which is what we have now, where it's a really nice Mercedes Sprinter van, smaller. You could have a couple 10x10 easy up to keep it small, and have the guys that are just turning pro that haven't proved themselves yet but need support in getting to the races, have that set up for them. And then do a Moto Academy factory team, so semi guys that are capable of podiums and winning championships, and so have those two programs set up. I would say probably by 2025 we would have that. So 24, this coming Supercross, I'll keep it simple. It'll be just me, maybe one other rider. 25, we'll have established 1 to 2 facilities. So at that point, we can start really making the race team legit. Like Club MX has a pretty good race team now. We can do the same thing.
That'll be so great. Like, I'm so excited, so pumped up about all of that. And for that, you're already leading. Like, you're already a great leader in the sport and in the industry as a teacher and all that you want to do. What's like your leadership style? And
good question. So my leadership style would be to really do my best to raise people up and to try to not lead from the top down, kind of being a boss. It's more so to do everything I can to teach people what they're good at, to kind of expose where their strengths are, and then to just cultivate them as a well-rounded human. So somebody that is kind of forward-thinking and that they can be creative and come up with ideas and solutions themselves. And once they get good at what they know how to do and what their kind of role is, they can think all around that role and not just do a job, do a task.
Do what you told them to do.
Yes, because that's the worst type of employee. So being a leadership in my business, at least when we're talking employees, you want to really create somebody that can kind of see 360 and help build the whole thing. And I try to be right down there with them, solving problems and not just commanding people. And the way that I teach is similar. I try to really, depending on who I'm talking to, kind of morph into a different type of person that they can relate to a little bit more. If I have to really simplify, if I have to make them feel really comfortable because they're just insecure and not comfortable, or if I have to be a little bit harder on somebody and kind of get through a different way. I like that because you can be really creative and just try to think different. For every person's different. Everybody learns different. Everybody being an employee is different and is motivated by different things. So it's interesting to just learn all of that, kind of what motivates people, I guess.
It's great.
It's fun.
And that's one of the books that you're reading right now, like the Psycho, like that you were talking about in
Yeah.
the podcast with your wife.
Which ones have you read, by the way? Did you read Think and Grow Rich yet?
No.
You haven't?
No, I haven't.
Okay, you need to. Wait, have you read any of the ones that I've suggested yet? Have you read the Mindset book?
Yes.
Okay. Mindset's a great one. Think and Grow Rich is awesome. Read that one next. The Psycho-Cybernetics one that I'm reading right now is really, really good too. And it was written in 1910, which is interesting because a lot of the things are now proven by science, which then it was more so like, I guess. And when you read it back, it's like, whoa, this is very relevant in today's world. Yeah, that's my mentality with everything. I try to just be a sponge and learn because there's a lot of my life. How old are you? 20? Oh, yeah. So when I was 20, first of all, I didn't know anything. I still don't know anything. But at 20, the difference was I thought I knew everything. And at 20, I thought that, oh man, there were so many things. I thought the wrong way in all of it.
So going based on that, like, what advice would you give yourself, your 15-year-old self?
15 years old?
Yes.
There's so many things I can think of.
If there was one.
I would say at
advice.
15, I would say you're not dreaming big enough. Dream bigger. And every day, the entire purpose of your life moving forward is just to set the goal so extremely high that you almost can never reach it. But your purpose is then to strive for that goal every day and just chip away at it, one fraction of a percentage at a time. So that way there's no such thing as failure. It's just a different way it's a learning experience. So if you fail, if you make a mistake, it's just you're learning. You're chipping away at that goal one step at a time. And I didn't have that mindset before. My mindset before was I'd set these short-term goals. But think about it. When I was 15, I was pro arena cross racer. I was pro in supercross at age 16. But in my mind, I would set these short-term goals, like 6-month goals and 1-year goals, and put so much pressure on myself to accomplish them in that 12-month time frame. And when I didn't, which I didn't every time, I would feel like a failure, and then I'd reset and recalibrate and try to come up with another 6-month or 12-month goal that I could accomplish. And it was so much pressure, and I was so attached to it that I was operating out of like, don't fail mode. Like, don't mess this up. Oh, you can't mess this up. Don't mess this up. And now it's not like that at all. Now there's no pressure. And there doesn't have to be pressure for anybody. At age 15 or age 20.
So there's no pressure because there's no failure. It's
right.
Winning or learning.
Right. Set a ginormous goal, and then just learn. And then peek at the goal every once in a while. Make sure it's still big enough. If it's not big enough, make it bigger. Like in my Think and Grow Rich book, I wrote down $10 million by 2033. And then I looked at that like 3 months ago, and I'm like, that's not nearly high enough. So I changed it to 100 million by 2033. And I'll glance at that as I read through Think and Grow Rich every once in a while. And if I need to recalibrate it in my mind, I will. But then other than that, I forget about it. And I just focus on doing the best I can and learning as much as I can. It's so simple. People complicate things, and there's a lot to learn. But when you think of it in that mindset of just learn, that's it. It takes all the pressure off. It's quite nice.
Great. And on that, do you think we can achieve everything we set our minds to?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I believe that everything in this world was created, at one point it was created by somebody's thought or dream. That Jeep, this dirt bike, that track, everything. You go to Dubai, like New York City, any of these, it was created by a human that had some crazy dream at one point to be able to look at like an Elon Musk and how much he's been able to accomplish. That's possible because he is almost delusional in his thinking. And his thinking is he believes he can do so much that he might not be able to accomplish fully all of it before the day that he dies. But then what happens is you end up, happens to me. I set such huge goals and I'm striving for them every day. And then every once in a while I'll be on a plane and just kind of like think about things. And I'm like, oh my God, what I've been able to accomplish is crazy. And things that I never would have thought were possible. So yes, like that's why people in the app ask me a lot of times, hey Jay, I'm 22 years old. I just started riding 5 years ago. I really want to be a pro supercross rider. Can I do it? Yeah, you can. If you really believe that you can, yeah, you can. It might take a while, but if you believe that you can, and then you do not stray away from chasing that down, I think persistence is one of the most important words. Like you have to be persistent. You have to keep going, and that's why I've failed a lot of my life, was because I was not persistent. My short-term goals created this weird excuse as to not being able to accomplish my goal. So then I would make excuses. I'm going to take today off. I'm going to pull off early in this training session because my arms hurt. And I'd come up with these weird excuses. I don't do that now. Because I'm persistent in everything that I do. Like I just know to see everything through to the end. If it does work, if it doesn't work, you just keep moving forward. Yeah.
Great. And just to wrap up, you
Yep.
gotta leave. Two more questions.
Okay.
So I created a brand, like my website and my project is about Dream to Compete. And it's about taking ownership, like owning your dreams by competing to be your best.
Yep.
And competing by owning your dreams. So I wanted to ask you two questions. What's the main thing of dream of a dream? What's the definition of dream?
To have a vision and to be really, really. The more times you dream about the same vision, you can start to be really specific about it, and you can start to really be very, very, very detailed. And then next thing you know, that thing that you were dreaming about and that vision in your head, that picture, that idea that you had, all of a sudden you're living in it.
It's like this bike.
Yep.
Like you
Was
said
this
it.
your dream at one point?
No. My dream.
Probably.
Yeah. Probably. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but like what you were saying that this was just a vision for someone.
Yeah.
And then.
Yep.
It was created.
Yep.
And then,
Everything at one time. I wish I could remember quotes better. It was like the best invention of all time at one point was an idea. It's not the exact quote, but it's something like that.
And the second question is, what does competition mean to you? The word compete.
Ooh, I don't like that word, really, because in my mind, I believe that you are either in a competitive mindset or you're in a creative mindset. And I believe that being in a creative mindset is a more detached, kind of looser way to be. Even when you're in a competitive environment like racing, I think that you can operate like Jet Lawrence does in the creative mindset as opposed to the competitive mindset. The competitive mindset kind of operates more in like a fixed mindset and maybe operating also out of lack a little bit. For creative, if you can not be competitive, you'll be your competitor's worst nightmare because you're not attached to the outcome of what happens. If that makes sense.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think competition also for a lot of people it brings like comparison.
Yep.
Which is
Yeah.
kind of good in some ways. What I think about competition is just like striving always to be better, like competing just against myself.
Yeah.
To always be better and always be creating.
Yep.
Creating that vision that I want, creating the person that I want.
Yeah, competition against yourself, great, all day long. Competing in comparison against others, be careful. That obviously you just used that analogy. That's one thing I used to be really bad at. I'd go to line up and I'd look around, I'd read the names on the jerseys and say, well, can't beat this guy, can't beat that guy, can't beat this guy. And I'd defeat myself before I even went out there. But
Well,
thank you for the quick interview. That was very good.
So there you have it, an amazing conversation with AJ Catanzaro. If you liked it and would like to see more of this, please hit that subscribe button, share, like, comment, and let us know who you'd like to have in the channel. Until next time, dream big, compete to be your best, and own it.